Should you consider purchasing the Isle and supporting the development studio behind it? This developer review will help you to decide. The Isle describes itself as an open-world survival game where players choose from 3 factions in an attempt to survive a fierce island: hunt, prey, survive. It was released on Steam on the 2nd of December 2015 and it costs €19.99 or your regional equivalent. Its overall Steam review score is mixed at 68% with just over 4,500 reviews, but its more recent score is mostly positive at 76% with just over 315 reviews. The Isle is a game that's being developed by a development studio called Afterthought LLC. The prime mover behind Afterthought is Dondi, who has previously worked on Primal Carnage. According to Giant Bomb, the Isle was greenlit on May 29, 2015 in just 5 days. A few days after being greenlit, a Kickstarter campaign was launched by Dondi on June 4, 2015 to fund the game for $50,000. This campaign failed and was cancelled on June 29th after receiving $5,643 in pledges. Steam Spy estimates that there are approximately 108,000 owners of the Isle, and Steam Charts indicates that, unlike the majority of games, the Isle has been successful in keeping and increasing its regular player base. There is very little information on the team which is building the Isle. The Kickstarter page had some information on the team as it was then, and the fan-run Isle wiki also has some information, but none of this is clear. Even the link to the developers on the Isle's own website just redirects you back to the same website, and that has been down since July 22nd. It's unclear if Afterthought are deliberately hiding this information or are simply not organised enough to have it posted in one place where players can easily view it. Each developer review follows the same format. There are 4 individual ratings, each of which is rated from A, exceptional, to E, disgraceful, and then there's an overall positive or negative recommendation on whether you should consider supporting this development studio. The first rating we're going to look at is community interaction. The community interaction rating is all about how the devs communicate and interact with the community, whether that's on social media, on forums, or in other places. It's clear that the main focus for Afterthought is the Steam forums, and that's a good thing. There are several active mods and devs on the Steam forums. If you ask a relevant question, there's every chance you'll get a fast, accurate response back. However, the rules for the forum are quite draconian. Asking for ETAs will get you a lock. Necroing threads, and that means any thread over a month old, will get you a lock. In fact, you can tell a lot about a forum by its rule set. Is the forum and its mods trying to be positive and encouraging, or is it just listing out a bunch of rules and punishments for breaking them? The forum rules for the Isle are very much the latter, and unfortunately that feeds into another problem. Every forum has its share of so-called fanboys and haters, but it's clear that divide is more severe in these forums than with many other games. On social media, Afterthought is not as active. Nothing has been posted on the Facebook page since March 31st, and their Twitter account had a hiatus between April 29th and July 24th. It's been active since the 24th and has been hinting at something major being added to the game soon. One area where Afterthought really shines is on Twitch. Dondi is a relentless streamer and can often be found streaming development of the Isle and taking questions from the community. Having direct access to an important dev and seeing game development in action is something other developments should take care of and Afterthought should be proud of. For all of the above reasons, and especially its strong Steam forum presence, I'm going to give Afterthought a rating of B for community interaction. The second of the ratings is for developer speed. How quickly are updates released? How accurate is a proposed date for a release versus what actually happens? And how much content is contained in each release or update? Afterthought have released many updates for the Isle, very roughly around 300. However, it's almost impossible to filter out what major steps have been taken forward in the game, as most of these releases were incremental rather than major. Comparing the features of the game today with the list of proposed features from the store page, it's clear that several important features are now in the game, and a lot of extra content such as dinosaurs and maps have also been added. But it's also clear that many features have yet to be added to the game, and there is no clear indication when that will happen. The store page also mentions that the game is expected to be finished around Q1 2017, which of course has already passed. This makes it almost impossible to estimate how much time is left before the Isle will be complete. Based on these factors, I'm going to award Afterthought a neutral rating of C for developer speed. The third rating in a developer review is development clarity. Is there some form of public board where we can see task progress? Is there a public roadmap where we can see the features that have been added to the game and the features that are coming? How much information is given in advance of the next patch, and in general, how transparent is the development process? Now, this is an area where Afterthought fall down. They did have a public Trello board, but the last action on that was the 27th of October 2016. They also had a bug reporting site as well, but that went down when their main site went down on July 22nd, 2017. There is also no list of the current set of tasks developers are working on. Although there is a list of planned features on the Steam store page, that same store page also says the game is expected to be finished by Q1 2017, which of course has already gone. The Isle does not have a roadmap showing features that have been added since release into early access, and what features are to be included prior to the release as a full game. In short then, there is no clarity on what will be in the final game when it is complete, and no information on when it will be delivered. The Isle does have many updates released, and even the most cursory glance at the game shows the devs are active. Even here there are issues though, including one time where they pushed a known unstable build to the public branch, citing that players had not tested the dev branch enough to find all the bugs. There was not a positive reaction to this. The only positive light in this section is that there is a list of proposed features in the Steam store page for the Isle. Unfortunately, Afterthought fall down in every other area of development clarity, and so I'm awarding a D for this rating. The fourth and final section of a developer review is developer honesty. What claims have the devs made about the game? Have they ever lied or screwed up? And how honest is the Steam store page relative to the game? Now, the Steam store page says that the Isle has 3 factions in the quick text on the top right of the page. In fact, it's been that way since at least December 2nd, 2015, as you can see from this Wayback page. This information is incorrect. Humans have not been added to the game, although they may be added soon. And in addition to this incorrect information, of course the release date for the game on the store page is also incorrect. On the plus side, there is no evidence I've been able to find that the devs have outright lied. Now, there is one final thing I'd like to bring up within this developer honesty section, and that is this post by Dondi about withdrawing from developing in front of the community. Dondi has, what some have termed, an abrasive personality, yet I find this post to be both refreshing in its forthrightness and honest about having to deal with a demanding community. Now, you could argue that a dev that cannot handle this kind of community pressure should not expose themselves to it. But on the other hand, devs are people, and if the community wants to see how game development works, warts and all, then it has to accept that very few devs are comfortable or even capable of dealing with the community spotlight. This topic on its own is worthy of a complete video, but I do encourage you to read Dondi's post, and I'll link to it in the description for the video. To summarise this section then, Afterthoughts have several incorrect pieces of information on their store page, but other than that they have not attempted to mislead their customers. So for these reasons, I'm going to award them a neutral C rating for developer honesty. There are several positive things that the studio behind the Isle should be praised for. The active presence of mods and devs on the Steam forums, the relentless streaming of development by Dundee, and the constant updates are all great things. But on the other side, there are many facets of a professional studio that are missing. There is no public roadmap, no public task tracker of what the team is working on, no information on when the game will be complete, little information on upcoming patches, flawed information on the Steam store page, and a general lack of clarity that is disturbing. And in many ways that pretty much sums up Afterthought, the studio behind the Isle. They have the passion, but they lack the professionalism a development studio needs when releasing an early access game. For these reasons, I have to award a not recommended rating to Afterthought LLC, the development studio behind the Isle. That's it for this developer review. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've enjoyed it, please consider hitting that like button. And if you've really enjoyed it, please consider hitting that subscribe button. That's it for now. As always, enjoy your gaming. Take care.